Greetings. Hi. Welcome to another edition of Ending Homelessness in America. I'm Arnold Stalk. I'm the author of the book, and I also put together what has become a 50-year journey. It's hard to believe. Started in 1974 as a Vista volunteer in South Central Los Angeles and downtown Los Angeles. You can find this book at Amazon.com, Ending Homelessness in America, and it's $2.95. The only reason it has a denomination attached to it is because Amazon requires a minimum of $2.95 to publish a book or to make it available. And it's a very easy read. It's actually examples of build projects, not theories, not talking. This is no political campaign. I have no agenda other than to help people in your towns, in your villages, in your counties, in your cities on how to get involved because this problem is a local problem that has global proportions, disastrous proportions. And if we don't step up to the plate now, I'm a baseball fan, and fix this problem, it's going to continue to haunt us. And it's attacked every city, wherever you go, it's there. The greatest cities in the world, the greatest American cities in the world, are now an embarrassment. So it's gotten to the point where I decided to do this. I think that the examples are specific examples. There's no theoretical analysis here. This is not a campus academic exercise. This is real stuff. I start off in this chapter, it starts on page 96, entitled From Homelessness to Housing. How do you help someone get from a homeless situation to housing? And if you've lived in any American city or any rural or countryside, you know how homelessness is one of the biggest problems we have. I'm going to start off with a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. If you think about that, how do we treat our most vulnerable members? Are they throwaways? No, they're not. And so I quote a lot of people like that I respect throughout the book. And the only way to solve this problem is to come up with a master plan, which we have. And the master plan is stepped process. It's 4 steps: homelessness, uh, transitional housing, shelter housing, permanent supportive housing, and affordable housing, and attractive and efficient housing. It's a 4 step process, and it can be broken up depending on where it is in your community into pieces, into how those issues are solved. And the only way I know how to do is to build it. I also want to have an emphasis in this discussion on veterans with honor and dignity, serving our veterans with honor and dignity. And we've dedicated a large part of our lives and my life to doing that. How do you help veterans? Those people who served our country and continue to serve our country with honor and respect. When I was growing up during the Vietnam era, uh, the veteran was treated like garbage. I don't know how else to say it. I'm a pretty black and white guy, so you're just going to hear the unedited version. They were spit on. They had trash thrown at them. They couldn't go to an airport without being harassed. And when they came home, they were treated incredibly poor. Um, and I try to really stay out of the politics of it, but politicians have made homelessness an issue, and we don't like that much. We work with politicians. We love the ones that care about our veterans and our struggling families and people that are out on the streets, but we keep politics out of our organization. We don't endorse anybody. We don't support their campaign, but we welcome them if they want to talk about housing our veterans, treating our veterans with respect, and also people that are on the street, individuals, families, people with chronic mental issues. The whole gambit of those things is what we're concerned with. Um, at any given point in the United States, there are hundreds of thousands of people that are either homeless, at risk of becoming homeless, those people living in tents in the hillsides, in cars, and in places that are not for human habitation. We have concerned ourselves with this issue. I'm a pain in the ass when it comes to it, Most politicians know that when they call me, they're going to get the black and white truth. We don't run a Broadway show in our nonprofit organization. We don't come in with all sorts of celebrities and talent and people and handlers. We don't have PR people. We just are a grassroots organization that builds housing and helps people. Right now, at this point in time, we're redoing a veteran's house. He was misdiagnosed by the VA for 50 years. 50 years. They just found a diagnosis for him that fit. And he was exposed to nuclear radiation in a nuclear weapons facility and lived with that. He was diagnosed with MS or something else, very debilitating to him. He's in a wheelchair. He's a wonderful man, a great patriot. And those are just the kinds of examples. I use that, but the book's filled with examples of veterans that we've helped. And I don't want to just talk about the problem. I want to talk about the solution. And so my whole thing is you have an issue, you have a problem, you find a way to solve it. The only way I know how to do that is to create buildings because of my background and to bring people to run the buildings that are very experienced. And it's been an amazing journey. And one of the pages in the book, on page 100, for example, it says, "We don't know them all, but we owe them all." And those are the types of issues that have driven me for years about helping veterans. I had a veteran that was in the Navy. When she worked on a hospital ship. She was a registered nurse, and she had to hide her gender because they didn't allow females in the Navy at that point on hospital ships. And she was in the hospital. Her job was to identify bodies and match the bodies to their identification. A real patriot, and her name was Cynthia. She and I ended up going to the White House together and met with First Lady Michelle Obama and President Obama now several years ago. But we do the same thing on the Republican side. We met President Trump. We've met all sorts of people, rank and file workers and culinary workers and union people, and they've all been a part of our journey and blessed us. But the real change comes in villages, in your meetings, in your town halls, and stay focused. Most people, and I say this in every one of these YouTubes, most people want to do the right thing. They want to get involved. They show up to the first couple of meetings, then they fizzle out. And when they find out how much work it really is, they're out. So it's those few people that have been along our journey. It's not been easy. I want to also say, if you're thinking about doing this, it doesn't. What's that expression? No good deed goes unturned, or without not well deserved. I We have been the subject of a lot of issues. We've taken a lot of heat for what we do, believe it or not, and our focus is on positiveness. So we're at about the 8.5 minute mark. Most of these are 10 minutes long. And again, when you look in the book, if you start out chapter by chapter, step by step, there's no reason why you couldn't navigate. It's very easy to navigate through this book. It's not a literary giant. It's not going to win a Pulitzer Prize or a Nobel Prize, but it's going to tell you how to get things started in your community so that when you leave your house or you drive through, you can say, I did that. I did that. I planted a tree today for a veteran. And that's something to hold on to. It's great for you. It's great for your kids, your relatives, and future generations, especially our children, to spread the word of hope. And so that concludes this edition of Ending Homelessness in America, the YouTube archive. And we thank you very, very much. We leave you until we see you again. God bless you and keep the faith. Thanks.